So here we are, Monday morning's job, well, sort of mid-morning, it's almost lunchtime now. I'm going to try and do two jobs at once because the owner wants the radiator and intercooler system changing to a standard one with a brass radiator. I'll show you that in a minute because I don't want to get it out of the box yet. And also the heater blower is not working. Now, they've been notorious, these cars that come from the African continent, because they never use the heater, so the damn thing seizes up. So he's bit the bullet and got himself a new blower, new radiator. That means draining off the coolant. Now we've done this before, it's kind of easy, but grab yourself one of these syringes, you know, and suck the water out of your expansion tank first. That's easy. Then you can take off your expansion tank, because we've got to take it off to do the heater, which I'll show you in a minute. Plug the hole in and run the hose down into the bucket. Now you can see I'm using a different colour coolant on this one. This is universal and it was only put in last year, so it's still pretty good. But changing the radiators, as you know, can be a bit of a pain because you've got to take the front off. And to take the front off, yes, our old friend the winch is there. So I overcame that when I did this engine last year to put self-tapping screws in here that hold the radiator in. That means we don't have to take off the front. That's good, isn't it? So let's get the coolant out of it. What we're going to do is take off the expansion tank and the washer bottle so we can get access to the heater. Now I'll just show you quickly what the problem is. So here we have a brand new blower. They're not cheap. I wish I had shares in used cardboard boxes. I'd be a millionaire. So this is the blower. Oh, I see how they've done it. So what they've done is they've put it in the packaging material, then put the fan on. So we have to tear the box to get it open. Let's have a look. There we go, that's what they've done. Those Finnish people. That's made in, I think these are made in South Africa. Oh, China. They used to be made in South Africa by Smiths. But anyway, let's get this off. Yeah, they're the downside about it, so it's seized up and they're a right pain to free off. The blowers are handed. You see those little fins on here? See how the hook this way? On a right hand drive the hook the other way, so even if you're going to be really clever and take the plug off, it still won't go around to blow a left hand drive. Well, it won't suck, but it won't be very good, it won't be efficient, so it's really important. Now, blower motors, yeah, you can usually pick up a right hand drive one and fit it onto a left by simply turning the motors around, because it's a DC motor, it'll go on anywhere around it wants. But getting the fan off, pain in the bottom. But getting the actual fan in to place is even worse. Let me show you. You've got to take the expansion tank off. No problem. No problem. Little bolt round here. No problem. Water wash jet thing, washer bottle, that's got to come off. You've got to take this trumpet out from inside. I'll show you how to do that. It's really easy. You've got to take this winter snorkely type thing off, because all we've got to do is get this piece out of here. It's held in by two pop rivets here, two pop rivets there, and I think there's two at the bottom. Not a problem, but we've got to take the cables off. Well, we can actually swing it away, I think. We don't really have to take it off completely. But they are a real pain because they've got two screws hidden away here, and even worse, they've got two underneath, and those are the problems. And I thought about putting captive nuts in to make it easier, because you can't reach round. You can't go to the inside of the car and foot weld will hold the nut and bolt at the same time. So I'm thinking about putting some captive nuts in. It could be a scorcher. So let me get these units off and we'll come back and have a look. So, adding accessories to cars is always the bane of my life, because this has got wing top protectors on, correct? This thing's here. Now, In order to get the trumpet thing out here, the air intake, because we've got to move it back, we've got two choices. We can drill off all these pop rivets here and replace it. Why? Because just here and here are two screw holes that hold the trumpet in to the top. Then you can clamp it to the bottom underside here by the screws that hold the air intake on, because it's like sandwiched between it. But we can't get to the screw here, so 5 pop rivets. I'm going to take the wing top off and then we'll pop rivet it back on again. Now we could be careful and just drill out here and here to get the screw out. Easy, I've done it before. But the problem is, it's such a small little screw and so delicate to get out, it's easy to lose it and it's easy to round it off. So pop rivets, let's get on and let's get them. Oh, I can't even splutter it out. Let's get them off. So here are the screws, here and here. Now when I undid these screws here, I can see that the holes are bigger than 3/16. This is a 3/16 drill. And look, oh, remember not, wait a minute, can you see down here, look? Drive a bloody bus through them. Now I heard when I undid them that there was some clanking and carry on going on, and I think what they've done is they've held it on with some, how do we say, washers, spacers underneath. That's going to be a problem. Now, next thing, look at this in here. A bit of plastic in there. How that got in there? Oh, that's full of crap in there. Right, let's see if we can get them screws out. There we go. And you can see how small they are. Don't lose them. Right, I'm going to put those inside the car. Next thing, we'll take off this expansion tank and the washer tank, screen wash. So I ended up taking all this lot off here. Now I've got to take the bracket off, which holds the washer bottle on, and it's the wing support as well. And the problem is, this nut here is stripped. So that means I'm going to have to get the grinder out and cut the top off, because I won't be able to move the heater forward because this is in the way. This here, this plastic tunnel can actually be moved forwards a little bit. It doesn't really matter about that too much, but oh, it's seized up solid. Well, I shouldn't be laughing because I've got to do it. Yeah. So I think we might be able to get this heater out without too much of a trouble, he says. I'm going to get the grind out. With that out of the way, we should be able to get this out of the way. The gasket's all knackered on it. What's this here? Oh, that's a rubber thing. Hey, these are expensive, these little things here. You better hang on to that like gold does. Oh, there's all sorts of calamity. Look at the muck in here. Getting used to that now. Instead of making Land Rovers better, I should say, look at the muck in here. Now, what we can see now is down here, there's two very nasty, rusted on 10mm nuts, and I've got to try and think of a way to get those off. There's a spare nut, I don't know where that came from. Oh, it is a bit difficult. I've got one of these little angle grinder 90-degree things. These are really handy, but they're a bit big. Quite to get in there. This is going to take goggles. Right, got the bottom 2 bolts out. Cut straight through them and messing up with that. Now you've got to get these top bolts unloose. You don't have to take them out completely, which is a good thing because there's pipes and wires everywhere. In fact, I think what I'll do is I'll take that turner off here. Careful not to lose it because there's a spacer on here. Don't bother putting those back on, it's just a little thick washer there. We'll put that in our little tray. That allows us now to move some of these cables out of the way if they will, because you've got your washer hoses in here and you've got God knows what, and you've got to try and get the heater back in. It's a very tricky place to get to. I'll show you. Well, I think we must have missed that bit because I was on about the Solihull sadist taking these bolts out the top and I still couldn't get the heater out because of the gasket. I don't know, I just turned around, the camera was off. I had to take the heater unit out, not the heater, the air cleaner off because I couldn't get the heater out because it was catching. Now, with a bit of luck, there we go. That's all she's given. Now we can get access to the bolts here that hold on the heater. So what we've got to take off next, we've got to take this nut off, and those 5 bolts there, they look really nasty. And then there's 2 little screws on here that you've got to take off because you've got to take that bracket off. They look real buggers to get out. Okay, ugly duckly. I bet we've got the wrong plug on here as well. Have we? Oh no. Wait a minute. Where's that plug? Oh no, we're all right. Now, one thing I've found out about these units from experience is sometimes the heater's wired up the wrong way around, and you put it all in and you find it goes the wrong way around. I'm going to get some penetrating oil on here and try and get those out. They look really nasty. Look at that. I've got new nuts. It's just they're like a captive stud. I'm going to get them out. What's that? That's 8mm. Oh, of course my 8mm won't work. Let's try it on a socket. Didn't bother putting the wing top protectors on, you know, my vinyls, because there's no point, paint's all scruffed up anyway. Oh, that's not too bad, that one came out. What about these bottom ones though? Penetrating oil on them, don't come out. Right, so I managed to get all the bolts, all the nuts off. That was kind of easy. Well, it was better than I thought. I didn't think they were going to come off at all. Let's take the fan out, and you can see it's not quite seized up, but it's seized up enough. And you know, look at the rust in that. If it's supposed to come from Malawi, and it's all rusted up. Right, so now here is the unit. Ooh, tell you what, let's get some crown rust proofing. The body of this heater is not looking in tip-top shape. Where if we put a little bit of our favourite crown rust proofing on, it should help it save it a bit. Right, now let's get this motor on. Which way around does it go? Should be self-explanatory, but yeah, there's 3 at the bottom. Just like that. Not like that, like that. Now I'm going to treat it at no expense to some new M5 nuts. I bet they're M6s. What are they? Are they M6s? No, they're M5s. I'm going to bolt this back together. So, the blower's in, it's wired up. Does it blow or does it suck? Well, we'll find out. Let's turn on the heater, or should I say warm air blower. Nothing. We have nothing. Did I plug it in? Oh well, daft plug me, I haven't plugged it in, haven't I? In. Let's plug it in and get nothing. Right. I've got a sneaking feeling there's a fuse blown somewhere. Everything on that list, which I've now lost, seemed to mention a green wire, and I'm just wondering whether the fuses have blown. Just let me have a dig around in the old fuse box department, because there's too many things going wrong at the same time.